Hi there, it's Linda here. Thanks for joining me today as I play with these new goodies from MFT. I've got the Forever Friends stamp set, the Anything But Basic birthday wishes, and the big birthday die. So first of all, just positioning my die on my card front and cutting out the beautiful big happy birthday sentiment, then using a little pokey tool just to remove all of the letters, and then I will lay that piece, which is my card front piece, over a piece of the same size cut from some Strathmore Bristol Smooth watercolour card, which I find very good for ink blending. And I'm just going to go lightly around each of those die cut letters with my pencil, and this is so I will know where to do my ink blending. I'll know where the letters are going to fall on the piece behind. So once I have all my letters traced around, you'll see me grab an eraser, and I certainly don't want any lead pencil to show through with my ink blending over the top of it. So I'm just going to get rid of some of the darker lines, just in case, you know, I'm using some lighter colours like mustard seed and twisted citron, and the pencil could show through with those colours. So using my sponge daubers today because they're only small spaces to blend, and I'm going in rainbow water. Why not? It always looks so beautiful, doesn't it? So candied apple first, then spiced marmalade, and each time you'll see me just dabbing off on the side, but I do want quite a nice thick coverage, so I do go back and forth over it until I achieve that. Next colour is mustard seed, and as you'll see by the ink pads, most of them are Distress Oxide inks. The mustard seed isn't, but it's one of my favourite colours. I always go to mustard seed when I need a yellow. Is it out in Distress Oxide yet? If it is, I better go and get it, because I do love the oxides for blending, that's for sure. Moving on to Twisted Citron, which is my green of choice, and just making sure I get enough coverage there. And sometimes you'll see me going back like I am here, just blending with the Dauber from the colour before. Moving on to Peacock Feathers. And I did have, I think it's Mermaid Lagoon, I did have that chosen to move on to next, but I actually didn't have enough room for all those colours. I only needed one more colour, so I decided to go with the Wilted Violet, so I get that purple in there for my complete rainbow. So just wiping off my little sponge daubers when they get a little bit of ink mixed, two inks mixed together, but it's not a real drama. Finishing off here with the last colour, and then you'll see me just laying my die cut piece over the top to see how it's going to look. Now, because I'm doing this sort of recessed alphabet technique, I do need a craft foam layer for my card today. So I'm just laying my card front down onto my craft foam here. I've got the die in between, and I'm working out where that needs to sit on the craft foam layer before I take that off to my big shot and die cut it from the foam. Then I can gently push out the letters. I will be using those again in a minute to place the middle of the letters into place. Now I'm laying my card front down on the craft foam and just making sure it matches up exactly, and I'm doing a little trim then all the way around, and that piece will then be the same size as my card front. Don't you love cutting craft foam? It's just It's just so smooth and soft and easy to cut. Love it. So getting rid of those little bits and then just testing that it all lays together evenly. And then just testing that it all looks good on my blended rainbow piece, and that's coming together nicely. So this is the craft foam layer, getting some liquid adhesive. I'd use an Express It Tripletac adhesive, which I find nice and reasonably priced. I put it into a little applicator bottle, so that's what I've spread all over my craft foam layer, just making sure all those little bits are going to be sticking down in between the letters. And now this is my card front layer, again getting the liquid adhesive in all those little nooks and crannies, and then flipping it over and adhering it on the top in position. And I'm just loving the way those beautiful rainbow letters are looking. So it's time to get all the middle sections of the letters stuck into place. So to do that, I place the craft foam letter in position and place the little middle portion into it as well with a bit of adhesive on the back. And then I decided here I'll put it back in just for now and let that little inner portion have a chance to adhere. So you see me adding the liquid adhesive on the back, pushing it all into place, and I work my way through doing that for all those letters that have that little inner portion to them. And it's then time to add my cardstock layer, cut from the same. So these are the bits that were cut from that card front piece, and I'm just adding those little cardstock bits over the top of the craft foam portion. So just a few dots of liquid adhesive again, and getting them into place. If I get a bit too much glue oozing out, the little pokey tool's great for just wiping it up and getting it out of the way. So adding those is the next step. Right, so my Copic colouring is finished. I left my stamp in place in my Misty, so I'm using some VersaFine Onyx Black because it's such a nice dark black ink, and I'm just going to stamp again over my little image to give it that nice crisp outline. And then it's time to add my little sentiment, and I absolutely love the sentiments in this set, and this one, "You were born, I like that," is just fabulous. I think I could certainly pass that on to a number of my friends. So inking that up with the VersaFine Onyx Black, and I will stamp that in position to the side of the rainbow happy birthday. And all that's left to do is to fussy cut my little poochie and then add a strip of black and white paper from the MFT Black and White Basics pad and a little bit of shading with a Prismacolor pencil underneath the dog, and my card is finished.